This video is brought to you today by HelloFresh. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it is hot outside right now, like really hot. Like I don't want to turn on the oven and cook a delicious meal hot. That's a huge problem because you should always be able to enjoy a delicious meal. Not to worry, HelloFresh has come up with a solution to oven heat fatigue with their new Taste of Summer series. With everything from delicious grilled mains to farm fresh sides, each dish is designed to maximize the flavors of the season while minimizing oven use. You guys know I love the HelloFresh meals because not only are they extremely tasty, but they are also fast. I can have a meal ready in just about 30 minutes. HelloFresh makes it so easy with their pre-portioned ingredients, which means less prep work and less wasted food afterwards. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code LAND14 to get 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com and use the code in the description, LAND14, to get 14 free meals plus free shipping.
Hey, welcome to Worldwide Technologies Raceway. You already know what happened in the race, though I don't yet. The race is not yet started, as you can probably tell by the big crowd beginning to file in to this track. You're probably seeing this on Monday, and the reason you're seeing it on Monday is because I wanted to give you guys an update to silly season. I've been kind of pounding the pavement over the last couple of weeks, trying to figure out who's going where. And while I can't 100% confirm that everything on this little list I've got here is going to be accurate, I think it's a pretty good idea of what to expect, at least at this point in the silly season. So you may have clicked on this video because you saw the headline which said, "Take it to the shank." Well, we're taking him to the shank, and him is Simon Pagenaud. Multiple sources confirm this one. If it's not announced on Monday, just take it to the shank. Simon Pagenaud will join Helio Castroneves at Meyer Shank Racing in the 60 car for next year. I think that's an extremely powerhouse 1-2 punch. While, yes, Shank didn't go young, I would say that having two bullets in the gun that are that powerful and that experienced will only help Meyer Shank Racing out. And I think if you look at how Helio was able to adapt to the Meyer Shank Racing team along with the Andretti Technologies partnership, I would be very excited to see what Simon Pagenaud can do in that car, because when you remember that he was in a Chevy at the Indy 500, finished third, the Penske cars didn't qualify great. So if you think about if Pagenaud qualified where Helio did this year, he probably wins the race and not Helio. So if Pagenaud is in Helio's car next year for the 500, just think about that. And then think about the championship. What does that mean for the 22 car at Penske if Pagenaud's gone? I've heard a couple of things. I've heard Kyle Kirkwood. I've heard Rinus VeeKay. And actually, for a little while there, I thought that was actually going to happen, that VeeKay was going to go to a fourth Penske car. Now I'm hearing that the fourth Penske car is going to go away for next year, so the 22 car will not be a full-time entry. Now, that being said, I did do a video talking about Kyle Larson the other day, so if there were to be a fourth Penske car, I would expect it at the Indianapolis 500, and if they do it, there's probably going to be a gimmick associated with it. I think we saw Peretta was the fifth Penske car this year, and I think if they're going to do it, why not Kyle Larson? But, I mean, there's so many things, like I said, that would have to happen to make that happen. I wouldn't say that it's going to be 100% that you're going to see a fourth Penske car in the Indy 500. But I will say that you will not see, I'm pretty sure, a full-time fourth Penske car for next year. Andretti Autosport. So there's two seats open there. There's two drivers leaving, Ryan Hunter-Reay and James Hinchcliffe. So what do you fill those seats with? So my understanding is that Romain Grosjean is going to the number 28 car with DHL backing. Apparently Kyle Kirkwood was in discussions there for a little while, but apparently one of the sponsors didn't like him. So interesting to hear that. I'd actually spoken to Kyle at one point, and he kind of gave me the same impression that a lot of things, not necessarily that specific, but that he was still on the fence about where he was going to go next year. Though I have heard something about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 29 car. That's the Andretti Steinbrenner car, currently driven by James Hinchcliffe. Next year, I understand it's going to be driven, not really much of a surprise, by Indy Lights driver and driver for Andretti Steinbrenner Racing in that series, Devlin DeFrancesco. Now, Devlin is bringing a Brinks truck, a gazillion dollars, not necessarily a gazillion dollars, but a lot of money to that car to make it happen for next year. And I think far and away, he's the driver with the most money looking for that seat. So that's Andretti. Talked about Kyle Kirkwood. So this is my understanding as things are right now. Now, he didn't win the lights race that just happened here. If he does win the lights championship, he's going to have $1.3 million. And I believe that he is going to take that to Vassar Sullivan. Now, Vassar Sullivan is not planning on becoming a full-time team until 2023. But for 2022, they're shopping their options around. Now, I wonder if we're not going to see them at Coyne next year still. I know there's some talk that they might leave. I don't see where they go otherwise. I guess maybe they could go to Ed Carpenter Racing, maybe go to Carlin for a year. But I think if you're going to see someone with Vassar Sullivan, you're going to see Kyle Kirkwood. I know in the past I'd said that Zach Veach was a potential at that seat, and I think it was at one point. But when Kirkwood became available, I believe they've decided that Kirkwood is the way to go. Again, we'll see. But I think Kirkwood you'll see in IndyCar next year. Dale Coyne Racing Part 2. We talked at Nashville to Cody Ware, who is, of course, the son of Rick Ware, co-owner of the 51 car. I think we're all pretty sure that Romain Grosjean will not be in that car next year. But they are planning on doing at least one full-time Rick Ware Racing with Dale Coyne Racing car next year. And I believe that I witnessed the moment that we found out the replacement. I believe Alexander Albon is going to go there. Now, he talked to virtually every team at Indianapolis, so, I mean, he could be going anywhere. But I believe that Romain, being the loyal guy that he is, if he's going to leave one team, especially one that he's leaving on good terms with, I think he's going to position the team to have a driver who is, at least of equal or perhaps similar in situation to him, so they know how to handle him. So I think Albon fits best at Coyne. Again, I haven't heard anything specific outside of what I've actually seen with my own two eyes, and that was that Alexander Albon, Dale Coyne, Rick Ware, Cody Ware have all met, and they all met at Indianapolis. Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. So we do know they're going to go to 3 full-time cars next year, and we're also pretty sure that Takuma Sato is not going to be with that team next year. Now, stay tuned. We're going to talk about Sato here in a bit. Jack Harvey, long rumored, not confirmed yet, to be one of those cars. Now, interestingly, I've seen him attached to the 45, and I've seen him attached to the 30. We'll have to see which car he actually goes to. I personally believe that Hy-Vee is going to want an American driver, so we know they've been trying out some American drivers like Oliver Askew, like Santino Ferrucci. But I think you also can't look past the Christian Lundgaard of the world, who just set the world on fire in that car. However, the time that Lundgaard was in the car, Hy-Vee was not the primary sponsor. So maybe I'm reading between the lines, but I do think that probably they're going to want an American driver in the number 45 car. So, number 20, Ed Carpenter Racing. So I think that seat, as it usually is very, very dependent on whether Connor Daly stays, on whether the Air Force stays with him. If the Air Force stays with him, you will absolutely see Connor Daly back. I think the team's happy with him. I think Connor's happy there. Now, if Air Force doesn't come back, it opens up a world of possibilities. Now, when I had heard that Rinus VeeKay potentially was going to leave Ed Carpenter Racing to go to Penske, his replacement that I had heard was Ryan Hunter-Reay. So I do wonder if Ryan Hunter-Reay will have some sort of a future at Ed Carpenter Racing. Now, whether that's full-time, whether that's part-time in Ed's car, or whether that's an Indy 500 only special, that remains to be seen. But I do believe that if Ryan Hunter-Reay is associated with IndyCar at all next year, it'll be with Ed Carpenter Racing. I've also heard that Dave Malukas could be taking over that seat from Connor Daly. He just won the Indy Lights race here at Gateway, and he could be in prime position to win the championship as well, depending on how the final battle with him and Kirkwood ends up going. So that's a potential monkey wrench in the whole works, is Dave Malukas, who very well could move up to IndyCar next year. And, of course, Connor Daly. Again, if he has the money, I think he will be in that seat. Finally, a couple of things. Now, I would say put these in the wild rumor category at the moment, but I've heard that Takuma Sato is not 100% done with IndyCar racing. Now, I don't believe he's going to run a full season. I don't even know if he's going to run it past any races past the Indy 500. I do believe he's going to be in the Indy 500, and I have heard it is in a third Shank car. Now, I know that I teased a third shank car last year. I'd heard some things about Jackie Heinrecher potentially having a third shank car. I will say that I think this probably has a little bit more smoke because I believe that Takuma Sato doesn't want to leave, or doesn't want to leave the Indy 500. I'll put it that way. I think he knows he's competitive in that race, and I think Honda knows he's competitive in that race. Honda pairing their Japanese driver with the defending winners of the race, and being able to have 3 former Indy 500 winners on the same team, that's quite potent if indeed that happens. Final thing. Andretti Autosport. So Racer Magazine put out a little something about potentially Andretti going to Formula One. There's some interesting things going around the paddock right now. I'll just put it that way. Anything from, and Michael Andretti said this himself, he said there's no teams currently for sale. Now, of course, we figured out how much weight that held when the Trackhouse team bought Ganassi Racing. Anything can be bought for the right price, as we know. I've heard there are teams that potentially Michael's going to buy. I'm not necessarily ready to say what I've heard. I just say it's not like he's not bought Ferrari or anything. It's definitely going to be like a mid to backfield team, but it's probably not the team you're thinking it is. I'll just put it that way, meaning not Haas. So there's smoke to that rumor. We'll have to see, but I would definitely say there's smoke. I've talked to people who I very much trust, and I would say it's more than a rumor, but I would also say it's not quite at the point where I would be able to confirm to you guys right now that Andretti is going to Formula One in the absolute near future. But again, we'll have to see. I mean, there's a rumor right now that Indianapolis is going to get a Formula One race before the year is out. They're going to replace Suzuka. We'll see if that actually ends up coming true because there could be some interesting possibilities there as well. So that's my silly season report. Thanks to Kyle. He is just saying ever so still. Isn't it nice to have him back? Let me know. His feet hurt. Yeah, that's the thing. We've been walking around racetracks for the last 4 weeks, and that Nashville bridge, my God, my dogs are still barking from that. It is extremely hot here at Gateway. Can't wait for that sun to set. Can't wait to see what happens in the race in a bit. You can probably already watch my review of what happens in the race after this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more IndyCar and motorsport content, and I'll see you in the next video.